I'll use my 16 years of playing the game to tell you which Minecraft leaks are real and fake. Hello there, Ray here, and before we take a look at the new Minecraft leaks, let's first take a look at the new changes that came out today for the Copper Age update. The Copper Golem entity will now oxidize into a block statue, just like it does in Bedrock Edition, meaning that shortly after you created a oxidized one, it will turn from an entity into a block in about 8 seconds. Which means my automatic Copper Golem statue farm now works once again because it can easily convert them without you having to wait a really long time. It uses some well-timed TNT to destroy the previous statue and chest, and then the new one will come in as an entity and then freeze as a block again. And then in the snapshot they also made so that the Copper Golem can turn to a statue even if it's not in the very center of a block. So even though it's like a little bit on the edge here, it can still snap to the center and turn into a block, which is something that's also in Bedrock Edition. And will also help out this farm. Make sure you have your bell notifications turned on and you are subbed because I will be doing a tutorial on this as well as my other Copper Golem machines. And now these guys will oxidize even if the time of the day doesn't actually change. And this is done by having a time in the future where they will change to the more oxidized state, which is in their data as next weather age. Also in the snapshot, Copper Golems will no longer create a massive amount of lag when trying to check a nearby copper chest. This is really important because we want to use these guys in our storage system and we don't want them creating tons of lag. They will also no longer get stuck when they get in a situation where they get close to a chest but they don't get close enough to actually reach and look inside. I've ran into this problem a couple different times when updating my massive storage system here that can store almost every item in the game. But now with it fixed, we should be able to make consistent systems where they can pick up and drop off items easily. And placing Copper Golems on top of blocks will no longer call away the texture of the block. Like right here, you can see the top of this wall is missing, top of this fence is missing, the top of this eye is missing. And this is done to improve the game so it doesn't have to show you stuff that is being hidden behind another block, such as like what does the bottom side of this grass block look like? Well, you don't need to know because you can't actually see it. They also fixed the glitchiness of some textures like this dog here, and making sure projectiles will actually show when they fly away from you, which wasn't happening in some cases. But they also made sure that the conduits now have a breaking animation when they weren't during the snapshot, which is really strange based off of what I'll show you later in the video. And in the last pre-release, they accidentally made it so that no hostile mobs will spawn in the end dimension or the nether dimension unless you set your world spawn point here, which is really strange. I don't know how they messed this up. I'm actually really curious how they accidentally would have coded it so that mobs wouldn't spawn unless you set your world spawn point there. Maybe this even gives us a little bit of sneak peek into them adding a new dimension. Speaking of sneak peeks and leaks, let's take a look at the newest leaks that came out about the next update. Not the Copper Age one, but the one that's going to be after that, which is also the winter drop for this year. Our first new leak is from John. This is supposedly Roger Badgerman, the guy who's been leaking stuff in past years related to the Minecraft Live event and the new updates. And for context, earlier this year, they came out and said the word Nautilus. But now just the other day they came out with this Discord message where they use emojis to give hints at what's coming next. So they have a S emoji and a pair. And if you do Pictionary, this is S plus pair, which is spear. Which means we're going to get a new weapon, which is going to be a spear weapon. Currently we got swords, we also got the axe, and more recently we got the mace. There's also some weird weapons like the bows, which can fire projectiles really far. But then there's a hybrid of those, which is the trident, which can be thrown far but also can be used as a melee weapon. Now a spear in real life is a long shaft of wood with a pointed head. And the type of material that's at the point can be a few different things, including like bone, flint, obsidian, copper, and other metals. But the main reason to have a spear is so you can reach your enemy from a distance without letting go of the actual weapon. This is slightly different than what a javelin is, which is a light spear that is designed to be thrown. So although a spear could be thrown, it's more likely that it'll just be a weapon that you can use to reach mobs from a distance so you can actually reach farther than what you normally can, as it would seem a bit redundant to make a throwing weapon since we already have one. Now this reminds me a lot of the combat updates that they were working on a while ago. This is something Jeb was working on, and then Olruf was the one that started working on this. But then we haven't heard anything new about the combat updates for a few years now. But in the combat updates, they were proposing that some weapons would be able to reach farther than others, giving more uniqueness to combat overall. Ever since they came out with the 1.9 update, which was kind of the combat update, they always said that they wanted to come in and redo a lot of aspects of it. And seeing as they already experimented with being able to reach farther, it really makes sense that they can add the spear that can reach farther than other weapons. But the downsides with the farther reaching weapon is that it doesn't do as much damage. And I have talked with many developers over the last 16 years of playing this game, and one of the things that they did say is that with every new update, they want to come out with something new for each of the different play styles that people play the game. So they want to come out with something new for like the Redstoners, people that make like maps, people that make like data packs, people that do building, and one of those categories is they want to come up with new stuff for combat to encourage people that do like PvP to update to the new versions. Now we did see this with like the mace more recently, which was a cool combat update. I know people that do PvP have updated and have been playing around with the mace, and this new spear mechanic would be something like that. So this new weapon would really fit into that category. If you want to learn more about what was proposed for the combat update, I'll put all the videos where I covered all that in the description. But what do you think the properties of the spear is going to be? But we also got a less credible leak from this Twitter user called Neptune, where they posted this image here. But what the most fascinating thing in this image is right here, there's actually a spear in the inventory. Not only is it a spear, but it's a spear that appears to have a piece of a nautilus shell as the tip of it. So this would definitely go along with what John or Roger Badgerman was saying, that there's going to be a spear. And he also said earlier that there's going to be something related to Nautilus. And this is a spear with its tip made from a Nautilus shell. The person also has a new copper sword in the inventory, as well as an enchanted trident, some glow ink sacs, and also an empty bucket, and looks like an empty glass bottle, plus a conduit. And the conduit is crafted using Nautilus shells. It does relate back to Nautilus, as you'd need Nautilus shells in order to craft it, which fits perfectly because in front of us we can see there is a little shape of dark prismarine, which is the actual same shape which is needed in order to turn on the conduit, so that will actually give you the ability to breathe underneath the water, and also let you mine faster and kill nearby hostile mobs, as well as see better underneath the water. But this isn't a placed in conduit by the player, as there's actually some seagrass naturally growing on top of it, meaning that this is a structure that can be found in the water to encourage players to build their own working conduit. This would be similar to igloos, which have a hidden basement that encourage players to learn how to heal zombie villagers into villagers. And since Minecraft doesn't really have a tutorial, the developer said that they are purposely trying to put structures in the game to encourage people to find certain features of the game without directly telling them about it inside of an actual manual. And in the background of the image is also a new plant among all the seagrass. There's also this very kind of scarce grass piece here. It's sort of like seagrass, but it's kind of very two-dimensional, where seagrass is much more thick. There's also these little particles here, and I don't know if they're related to this actual piece of grass here. Maybe there's like a little bit of shine that comes with it. You also can see some in the background over here, so maybe there's another one of these pieces of grass back there. But do you guys think that's a new piece of grass? We don't have anything like that currently. And it looks like it even has some glowing particles similar to like the glow squid, which kind of makes sense for what I'll explain later. Now, taking a closer look at the actual spear, it really appears that there's just a bottom piece that is from a trident. And if we compare it with the trident model, it does look similar, but I'm not a texture person, so I can't tell if it's an exact replica of it. But if you're someone who does textures, let me know what you think. It does have a durability bar, just like a real item would that's been used. And you can see they used it quite a bit, which you'd expect when it's a new item that somebody's trying out. And seeing it's not enchanted, the durability would go down pretty quickly. Now, when it comes to the Nautilus part of it, if somebody was trying to fake this, they would just take a chunk of the Nautilus shell and they would just use it in this image here. Now we can kind of see the outside of the Nautilus shell being this dark piece and this dark piece here. And this would have to line up with one of these dark pieces on the edge, which I just don't see. There's one of those pink stripes here, but there's also like a stripe here, but this is more of a circle. We'd expect the circle to be in the center, but this Nautilus shell has a different type of circle center where it's not really pink, and the pink are only these stripes on the edge of it. So it does not appear that they took a one-for-one chunk out of the shell in order to make this image. But is this image real or fake? We have to look at this really deeply to figure that out. Now in the image, they're also wearing some armor, which is 7.5 armor pieces. But seeing that they have a copper sword, you expect maybe they're wearing the copper armor. But copper armor does not have 7.5, but instead the entire thing is only 4. So they're wearing some other armor set. They also have an empty glass bottle and empty bucket. We expect like an empty bucket maybe to scoop up water, where in the past you could actually scoop a block of air right where your player's at and recover all your air bubbles, but now it only recovers a little bit, so it's not as worth it anymore. So it's hard to say why they have this. And also an empty water bottle, maybe they drank like a water breathing potion, as the image is cropped so we can't see in the top right, see if they have any type of effect. And that probably explains why their air bubbles are completely full and not going down. Now they are missing food on their hotbar here, but they do have completely full hunger as well as hearts. You expect if you're using a spear that you would use up your hunger, because attacking actually uses up hunger over time. And if you're attacking things, they're going to attack back and lower your health. And for your health to regen, it's going to remove your hunger. So the food's either not on their hotbar, or they gave them like some type of effect so that they just don't use up very much hunger or health. The player also does have some XPs, which you would expect if they were killing some mobs. They can't be like too hostile mobs, because hostile mobs will give you quite a few over time. But seeing they do have the glow ink, that means they probably killed some glow squids. But the thing is, you only find glow squids in places underneath a wide level 30. But even in a deep ocean, finding wide level 30 is really difficult normally on the floor, where you typically would only get that low if you found like a ravine that was going through it. But seeing that there is gravel in the background with seagrass, this is what you expect from a deep ocean where it has gravel and seagrass. But it is possible for the glow squid to have a spawn down there and then just made their way up onto the surface here. So far, it's actually looking very realistic. And in this image, we can see the Minecraft game being played in the background. We can also see two different cameras of people on the sides, which is very similar to what they do during the Minecraft live event, where after the main show where they talk about the new stuff coming out in the next update, they have it so that they will take some of the developers and they'll play along with some medium-sized content creator. I think it's this person here. And then they'll just talk about the new features and mess around with it. So if this was the same thing, we expect one of these two images to probably be one of the developers. And neither of these people I've seen before as one of the developers, but this is a cropped image. And if we compare this image to like something like this, you can see they actually have 4 images here, where the majority of the developers are on the outside. So this guy is one of the Mojang people, and this guy over here is one over here. And this person is also one, with the content creator being near the hotbar. So it's very possible they have 2 kind of medium-sized content creators, and that's why these people aren't familiar. But that also means that people should be able to recognize these people from some YouTube channel related to Minecraft. And during these type of shoots, they normally tell the people to wear kind of bland clothes, nothing that would really pop out. And if you look here, you can kind of see they're both wearing bland clothes as well. Both the people also look pretty young to be developers, which makes me think that they would be the content creators. Now, if we look at the background of where these people are, we can kind of see there's some like kind of maybe little structures there. This one you can definitely see there's something that looks like a brick and a lantern. This definitely looks Minecraft related. And that's important because if we look at their backgrounds, we can see similar things like some structures in the background and some Minecraft related things, like there's a Minecraft lantern. And this guy has like a little cactus behind him. And if we go to the beginning scene, we can see that these little props are in the background of a bigger stage. But there isn't as many Minecraft props as we have seen in the past, where they have like a whole stage made of Minecraft related props. So we'd expect to see some like we do in these images, but not a ton of them. But there's one thing we did not take into account: the person who uploaded this image. So on their profile here on Twitter, you can see that they're called themselves Neptune Insider, and they just made their account this month. But in their bio, they say that they are someone you know from the past, maybe trying to indicate that they are Roger Badgerman. And then they go on to say, something is leaking here, can you fill the drops? So this is a reference that they're leaking information related to the Minecraft live event, as well as the drops being the upcoming Minecraft drops. But this could also be water related, as water leaks, as well as water drops. For their location, they say below Y level 0, which is important because that's going to come up later. They said they were born on March 22nd, which is oddly the date of the Minecraft live event earlier this spring. Although the date is different, but they probably had to do this in order to be a certain age to even use the Twitter account. And if this person was a leaker, then they would already know when the Minecraft live event was going to be. Rather than putting the date for the previous Minecraft live, they could have put something like September 27th, as they were posting soon enough to illustrate that they would have known the actual date of Minecraft live before it was officially announced. So this seems a bit suspicious. Their profile picture is actually the conduit effect, which is almost like the Eye of Ender, but with like a little yellow slit. But theirs is slightly different in the center, where this one has like one little dark patch. Theirs has a couple dark patches, which makes you think that maybe they modified the image a little bit. In the background, for the background, they have just some water. And they also have a water drop emoji as part of their name. So already it's not looking too good. There's a lot of suspicious stuff about this. And we go to their very first post. We can see it's just from earlier this month in September 11th. So this was already after John leaked the Nautilus word. And they posted saying, you already know about this anyways. So there's kind of like reposting what's already known. Here they got an item that's a Nautilus shell. They also have a name tag, and they also got 2 glow squids beside it. All of this can be done pretty easily in Minecraft. Their next post is this one, where they put some emojis in here. And they got the Y emoji, then there's a dash emoji, and then there's a 2 and a 0. So this would be read as Y level -20, indicating that something's going to occur at Y level -20. Now we know glow squids spawn below Y level 30, but -20 is extremely low. It's only like 15 blocks top of the bedrock. And going back to their profile, they also said below Y level 0. So they're kind of contradicting each other. Maybe there's 2 different things, but Y level 0 is a little bit more reasonable. But this is a level where deep slate starts spawning in rather than stone. Their next post is this image here. They got some individual chests. Looks like they're using some invisible item frames, which you can easily do in creative. And then they got some copper blocks with different oxidization levels. They got a couple transporting things, a boat and a minecart. And they have the cobbled deep slate, which is in a chest that's waterlogged. Water's not flowing out, so there must be some blocks around this chest that are invisible. Also got tripwire, which could indicate maybe a trap in jungle temples. And there's also Eye of Ender, which does look pretty similar to his profile, except this was the conduit power image. And then there's a chest with nothing on it. So what this all means, I don't know. I would have to say it's do something with some new Minecraft structures that have some unique stuff in them, which his next post kind of points towards. Is my aquarium, and it has blocks which appear to be part of the 2 underwater rune structures. There's the ocean rune that's cold, and that has some stones in it, and you can also see that there is that polished granite block, and it has the drowns that spawn, and inside of it there's usually a couple of hidden chests that you can come in, have a little bit of loot in it. And these cold ones are the biomes that have the gravel. So we're kind of seeing that in this one here. And this is what the warm one looks like. Kind of similar thing, except there's a lot of sandstone. And the warm oceans have the sand for the bottom, which we're seeing in this image here. And these sand structures can also come in with the polished granite. But once again, we see the structure kind of on the border between stone and deep slate, which is what you expect at Y level 0. And they're indicating that there's a special new structure which is below Y level 0, or maybe even that Y -20. And that's what they're indicating here. They're showing this new structure, has a bunch of deep slate related blocks around it. And they're kind of showing the different types of stuff you can find. So like up here in the normal ocean, you can find like this normal spawns of squid. So you got the ink sacs here, also in invisible item frames. Show the different types of fish you can find. There's all 4 types. But they're showing down underneath of here, you can find something else. You can find like a new Nautilus mob that's floating around in the dark down here, as well as the glow squids. And Nautilus in real life, which they do live still today, live really deep. This would make sense that they are really deep in the ground. And this would overall kind of go with the whole theme that this person's been presenting. The next post says, this live, meaning this Minecraft live, has the exact same format as previous ones. These secrets are nothing interesting. Which is indicating of the stuff that's leaked so far, it's not really that interesting compared to maybe the overall update. Maybe the update overall isn't that interesting. But we know that the next update is going to be a drop, and the developers already confirmed that the next update drop is going to be kind of a small drop, similar to other ones that we've had throughout the last year or so. So this type of theme does make sense, where something really big like the end update might not make as much sense. And then their next post was this image here, but there was no text to go with it. But then there was one more that they posted where they said it will all make sense, meaning that all the previous images that they've shown will all make sense, of course, when they come out the Minecraft Live event. Then they go on to say, also, this is the last thing I'm posting here before Saturday. That's when Minecraft Live is. What I've posted so far is spread across the entire development period. And they will definitely add some more things along the way. Only a small part will be shown during live though. They're saying everything that they showed will be slowly given out in snapshots before the final release. But they're saying there's also going to be more that's not shown. which is very similar to what we've seen in past Minecraft live events, where they show some stuff, but then they also come up with a lot more stuff that they don't show or talk about, which is kind of a nice surprise. But this Twitter or X person also has some replies on other people's posts, like people are asking about the roadmap leak, which was this image that was leaked, and apparently was supposed to show the roadmap that Minecraft was going to take for the next couple of years. But some of the stuff did not line up. Like, this is when the movie came out, and this is supposed to be like when the movie probably came out on the streaming service, but it came out before the fall update, as we haven't even got the fall update yet. So it's possible that they moved up the movie maybe to get more hype. Other than that, we really haven't reached any of the other milestones on here to know if it's fake or not. But according to this Neptune person, they said that this is fake. And when this person was talking about how the word Nautilus was leaked, this Neptune person did the emoji of a hole, meaning like, you know, way down deep, probably referencing back to their whole deep dark thing. And notice these responses are all the first time that they started posting. I want to ask about when's the next major update, because this winter drop is just going to be dropped, so it's not going to be that big. And they said it's going to be 2026, which is next year. This person asked when is 1.22 going to come, and they said not this year, which makes me think that we're going to get Minecraft 1.21.10 at least. But that will probably be a bug fix version for this Copper Age update. So we're probably going to get a 1.21.11, which would make it the most amount of minor updates for a single version, as the previous record went to 1.7, which was 1.7 all the way up to 1.7.10. But this was mostly just because there were so many bugs related to the Change the World update, where they came out with a whole bunch of new stuff. Although the next update also had quite a few, which was 1.8, got all the way up to version 9. So we'll have to see if this comes true. This person is talking about the next Minecraft update, and thought they might include other stuff like a second movie or Minecraft Dungeons update. The Neptune person replies saying they will only announce winter drop, which I highly doubt, because Microsoft always uses Minecraft as kind of a launching platform. They paid like over $2 billion for Minecraft, so it's very unlikely for them just to talk about the winter drop. They're probably going to talk about their other different things that are at least related to Minecraft, like Minecraft Dungeons, or other promotional things that they're pushing out. This person says we really need Aquatic update number 2, and they also replied with the little hole symbol. Silent Whisper talks about the Minecraft update. And once again, you get another reply with the hole. Some person was asking a question, looks like their post was deleted, but he also responded no to it. Probably asking something related to the upcoming update. But what's more interesting is a reply that's underneath of the main screenshot, where this person says it's a fake along with everything that's on Neptune's account. However, the spear leak from John is real. So he has a screenshot of the original spear leak. This person posted this message on September 21st, and if they got this screenshot very recently, that was just the day before or so that this one was posted. And then they also have this picture, which I've never seen before, but it says, do you think Neptune's spear leak is true or fake? It looks like a little voting poll, maybe in Discord, with a bunch of messages crossed out. But the one from John, which is apparently the Discord that John is inside of, apparently maybe he said something that made him think that it's fake. Now, unlike previous leaks, the leaked image was actually somebody taking a picture of the screen. You could tell this just by the angle of everything. And because they took a picture, some of it is actually cut off, such as like this saying after show up here. Where this image is a really crisp and clean image of somebody actually taking like a screenshot of something on the actual computer. Then they have to get the screenshot off of the computer so they can actually post it. They also didn't take a screenshot of the full thing, they only took a part of it, like it's cut on both sides, which is kind of suspicious. Even though a lot of these things that are shown in this post could easily be done, with the hardest thing probably just retexturing this trident here, and also coming in with the AI images that look very realistic. Overall, it seems quite real. But what do you think of each of these things? Is it real or is it fake? Let me know. Now watch me brainiac and updating all my machines and farms for the upcoming Copper Age drop. Otherwise, check out this playlist on all the new farms machines that are coming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!